Welcome to Golden Rule Wisdom, where we uncover the timeless secrets of success hidden within the pages of ancient history. In a small village nestled beneath the clouds of China, a legendary challenge was announced by the wise old village elder. He declared that whoever could build a stone staircase to the summit of the dangerous mountain would receive honor and gold. Many strong men looked at the steep cliffs with excitement, imagining the glory and wealth that awaited the one who succeeded. Among them was Wei, a young man gifted with immense physical strength and natural talent that no one else could match. He laughed loudly, boasting to everyone that he would finish the staircase in a month because he was the chosen one. The villagers bet all their money on Wei, believing that his raw power was the only thing needed to conquer nature. But then a quiet shadow emerged from the back. It was Mrs. Lynn, a widow with hands trembling from old age. The crowd erupted in laughter, mocking her foolishness for thinking a weak old woman could build a path to the heavens. The competition began, and Wei sprinted ahead, moving rocks that 3 normal men could not lift, showcasing his incredible power. Mrs. Lynn did not run. She simply picked up one single stone, placed it carefully, and took a slow breath. By sunset, Wei had built a significant portion of the stairs, looking down at the old woman with a smirk. That night, Wei celebrated with wine and food, telling his friends he could easily take a break and still win. While Wei partied, Mrs. Lynn quietly placed one last stone under the moonlight before going home to rest for tomorrow. On the second day, Wei slept until noon, convinced that his talent gave him the luxury of time and rest. But Mrs. Lynn was already on the mountain before dawn, moving with a rhythm that was slow but never stopped. Wei worked for an hour, then decided the sun was too hot, so he sat under a tree to sleep. A week passed and Wei's burst of energy faded, replaced by excuses and the belief that he could rush later. He told the villagers that his back was sore and that genius requires rest to function at its highest peak. Mrs. Lynn stumbled and fell, scraping her knees, but she simply bandaged the wound and picked up her basket again. Then the monsoon season arrived, turning the mountain paths into rivers of mud and making every step a dangerous risk. Wei looked out his window, saw the rain, and decided it was impossible to work in such terrible weather conditions. Yet the villagers saw a figure in a straw raincoat moving slowly up the mountain, ignoring the storm's angry roar. She did not try to do too much. She only focused on laying one stone securely before reaching for another. When the rains stopped, Wei found that his hastily placed rocks had slid down the slope, ruined by the water. He kicked the ground in anger, blaming the weather and bad luck instead of his own lack of careful foundation. But Mrs. Lynn's path remained firm, for she had taken the time to secure each stone deep into the earth. Autumn came with falling leaves, and Wei's interest in the project faded completely as he found new distractions. The villagers stopped noticing Mrs. Lynn, for her presence on the mountain had become as constant as the rising sun. Wei mocked her one day, saying she was wasting her final years on a task that required a young giant. She simply smiled with kindness and replied that a mountain is climbed one step at a time, not all at once. Winter brought silence and heavy snow, and Wei officially abandoned the challenge, preferring the warmth of his fire and wine. But high up on the slopes, the rhythmic sound of a pickaxe striking stone echoed through the freezing winter air. Her hands were cracked and bleeding from the cold, but her spirit was burning brighter than any fire in the village. Years began to roll by, seasons turned into memories, and the village children grew into adults while the work continued. Wei lost his muscles and gained a heavy belly, spending his days talking about what he could have achieved. One crisp spring morning, a sound that had not been heard for centuries rang out clearly across the entire valley. The villagers stopped their work and looked up, seeing a white ribbon of stone winding perfectly to the summit. They rushed to the base of the mountain, including Wei, who could not believe his eyes as he saw the path. The stairs were not made of giant boulders, but of smaller stones, fitted together with patience and incredible engineering. Standing at the very top, bathed in the golden light of the sun, was the tiny figure of Mrs. Lynn. The village elder bowed low, declaring that the true strength of a human is not in muscles, but in persistence. Wei fell to his knees, realizing that while he was waiting for the perfect moment, the old woman had created history. Talent is like a spark, bright and exciting, but without the fuel of consistency, it quickly burns out and dies. The village celebrated her not just for the path she built, but for the lesson she taught every single soul. Just as dripping water hollows out stone, not through force but through persistence, so does consistency overcome superior natural ability. In our modern lives, we often seek shortcuts or wait for bursts of motivation, forgetting the power of daily habits. Do not be like Wei, who let his potential rot because he despised the boredom of doing small things repeatedly. Success is not a sprint, it is a marathon run on the difficult terrain of discipline, patience, and unyielding faith. The path to your dreams is built one stone at a time on days when you feel strong and weak. Be like Mrs. Lynn, who understood that showing up every single day is the most powerful talent you can possess. It does not matter how slow you go as long as you do not stop moving toward your chosen destination. The world rewards those who stay the course when the excitement fades and the real hard work truly begins. Even Wei eventually learned that it is never too late to start small, picking up a stone to mend his life. As the sun sets on our story, ask yourself what mountain you are trying to climb in your own life. Are you relying on bursts of energy, or are you building your success with the bricks of daily consistency? Remember that intensity attracts, but consistency sustains. Without it, you will never see the view from the top. Embrace the boring, the difficult, and the repetitive days, for they are the ones that truly build your character. The victory is not in the moment of arrival, but in the person you become throughout the long, arduous journey. Protect your daily habits like a small flame. Eventually, they will become a fire that no storm can ever extinguish. Pass this wisdom to your children that being the smartest or strongest is nothing compared to being the most consistent. True peace of mind comes from knowing you did your best today, regardless of how small that effort might seem. We are small in this vast universe, but our consistent actions have the power to change the landscape forever. Let the story of Mrs. Lynn and Wei be a reminder written on your heart whenever you feel like quitting. Greatness is not a destination reserved for the chosen few. It is available to anyone willing to walk the path. When you build your own path with patience, you inspire those around you to pick up their own stones. The view from the top is beautiful, but it is the strength in your legs that you will value most. Time will pass anyway. You can either spend it building something magnificent or watching your potential slowly fade away. It is never too late to change your philosophy, to stop sprinting and start walking with purpose and direction. Legends are not born, they are built over a lifetime of choices that prioritize the long game over instant gratification. Keep climbing, keep building, and never let the noise of the crowd distract you from your silent, steady work. Look at your own hands today. What is the one small stone you can move to build your future? Commit to the process, fall in love with the daily grind, and let your results speak louder than your words. Thank you for watching Golden Rule Wisdom. We hope this story has planted a seed of perseverance in your soul. Remember that small steps lead to great distances. Please subscribe for more inspiring stories. This is Golden Rule Wisdom.